nearly. Are we ready? Okay. I'm going to assume that we're ready. So, hey, it's Queen Bee, back in Russia, live streaming from my kitchen because I managed to bring back a disease with me from Ireland and the cold weather, to more cold weather. So, what you're seeing is my beautiful white wall that I painted myself. So as I promised, a big live stream, long, maybe not so long, we'll see. And we're going to cover some of the main topics that were brought up, mainly by a massive post by a player who has also a fantastic name if you've been following my thread about great names that I can't pronounce on the live stream. It is Kazera. DKH Zera, who I believe plays on MVP. Thank you for that fantastic name. So I've managed to embarrass myself once again on live streaming. Quite a few things. I've been away for how long now? Three. I've been away for a total of a month. I've missed 2 live streams. I've been shouted at #1 by player Sion. I've been supported by other players. I have been reading your threads. I have been working with 4 hours difference with the office, and I'm still here. So let's get this thing started. What can we talk about first? Okay, let's go back to what the hell happened last night. Thread started after an incident on the 3rd of December where for some reason something happened and accounts were scrambled. People logged into other accounts. It was a complete mess that came from whoever was looking after our server in France, who disconnected something and messed everything up. So we've been working on that. We've been collecting your emails now. The emails which came straight to me, you have got answers saying we're working on it. I know that if you send emails to my other colleagues, you probably won't get an answer. And this does not mean they have not been read. It just means that, how can I put this? It's not yet commonplace in some places to respond to an email, say, we've got yours. And some of my colleagues don't do this. So even if you haven't got an email, it doesn't mean we haven't read what you sent. So we estimate that approximately 100 people were affected by this. Now, I must just, as community manager, express my complete surprise that some people could access other people's account and delete everything. I mean, seriously, people, if you did this, I hope you're watching this stream and I hope you feel incredibly ashamed, because that is so small, so petty, that there are no words to describe what happened. And on the other hand, I would like to thank every single player who got access to someone else's account and didn't touch anything or saved someone's chairs from being deleted, because that is pretty awesome. And it's what I would have assumed most Panzer community players would have done. So thank you for that. And I'm guessing there's a few other players out there that are thankful, because they are not waiting at the moment for us to clean up what some people made. So at the moment, we estimate that 100 counts have been affected. We're working on this. So what we're doing is we're receiving your inventory. So I hope in your inventory you have sent the name of your chars, your email login, and inventory, preferably with screenshots before and after, so we know what the hell we're looking at when we go in and we look at the logs. Because what we're going to do is we're going to compare the information you've given us with the logs, see what exactly happened at what time, and then we're going to restore it. So it's as if nothing ever happened. But to do this for 100 people, it takes a while. So we're giving ourselves until next Friday. So bear with us. We're getting there, and all I can say is I am so sorry, and I'm apologizing on behalf of Panzer, on behalf of all the community managers in my office, and on behalf of all the development staff for this issue, because there are no words to describe how incredibly painful it is to be confronted with this fact. So moving on, let's counterbalance this with some happy news. Now, you all liked Razor. There was a total of over 17,000 tickets forged, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, we know it was so 2 Naga mice and 5 mouse pads. Not bad. Now, Razor is coming back. This is pretty awesome news, and it's not going to be 2 mice this time. I can't tell you what it's going to be, but what I can tell you is that it's going to be big, and it's going to be for all the players like the first competition. So that's pretty exciting news. Moving on, so I have my little list on my screen right here in front of me. Tournament. Okay, tournament. Now, this morning, last night, I got Skyped, rightly so, by one of the teams that was kicked out of the tournament. 2 teams were affected by this. SWAT from Armada, and now you guys really just wanted to ruin my day, didn't you? Second team is called something that goes along the lines of Shvomvmpshikvompshu. Thank you guys, from PAT clan. A PET clan. So SWAT and the other guys were effectively kicked out of the tournament system. I'm looking straight into my camera, hoping that you're looking me back in the eyes, and what I'm going to say is that system error. Okay, this is a bug that apparently has not been encountered before. So all I can say right now is that it was definitely an error in our tournament. I got contacted, I got asked, why didn't we reinstate the teams? Where is the tourney admin? Why don't we have tournament admin? What is happening? Totally agree. This has been happening for a while now. I've been getting these emails saying tournament questions, and there is tournament admin. I'm not tournament admin. I'm CM, and so technically I watch the tournaments and I watch your matches when I can, but I'm not in charge of anything, and my home computer doesn't have any of the technical aspects that can allow me to fix things. And tournament admin did see this issue and did see that SWAT were kicked out, and that Shu was also kicked out. And I asked the question, why can't we put them back in? And technically, there was no option to reinstate a team when this happened. Now, I know I was contacted, and I've seen the emails forwarded from community, from support. And again, this comes back to the same thing, is that we're working on learning some of the basics here at the studios, which is we are going to start responding to your emails just to say we've read your email. Okay, and this hasn't been done. And I realize I came to understand this was an issue today, and this is going to be done from now on. And it will probably mean I will end up taking over tournament admin. So thank you guys. I'm spending all my time watching you play instead of playing myself, but we'll see. But you will definitely get an answer for this stuff. All I can say is seriously, SWAT and from Shum Thum Shu from PET Clan, I'm sorry. I am really sorry. And I'm also really, really sorry that half of my live stream is saying I'm sorry to my community, because that really sucks. Let's move on to something not so sucky right now. We got a new map. The Elven is the one with the air pillars there. Have you seen the video? It's going to be pretty awesome. I've had some great feedback. Sam, the streamer, really likes it, and I hope you guys like it too. So at least things will get exciting, even if we're hitting a sort of a low patch right now. What else? Okay, team reroll. So we've been asked to split the tournament, create 2 tournaments because there's too many teams, there's 20, and the tournament will be too long. And you've said it, you said it again, and you've said it again. And I agree. And we've calculated, okay, so great. We have like 22 teams in the tournament. Guess how many are real? Guess. I mean, seriously. Give me a number there. If someone could post a number, now I can't see it because it'll mess up the stream. But yeah, we've got about 14 to 16 actual teams. That means that some other teams, some captains, some clans are just making arrangements, mathematical arrangements, so that they can get higher into the tournament. And they're re-rolling. And according to a rule, actually, at the moment that was recently changed, you were technically allowed to re-roll and sort of move players in and among teams. We had our doubts about this, but it was running fine on Rue, apparently, on the Rue servers. Now, it's obviously not working here. It's not working at all. There are a lot of things that are not working, but dud teams, that's something I can fix. I can't fix any of the matchmaking algorithms. I can't fix the tournament kicking teams out of it when it sort of decides on its own. However, what I can fix are rules, and I can fix how things work, and I can ban teams, I can ban players who are taking the mickey. So, now, first thing I thought when I heard all of this was, you know what? I just want to cancel next week's tournament. Seriously, if it's going to be this rubbish, I'd much rather just like not have a tournament and come into work on Friday and have a nice clean email box instead of having tens of emails ranting at me. You stealing our crystals, teams are cheating, everything's evil. Now, my colleagues are calmer than me. They're cooler than me. They know more than me. They've talked me down. For the moment, the tournament isn't cancelled. However, on Monday, we are all getting together. And we're going to sit down and we are going to figure out a way to stop this. And it might be more or less severe, but we'll see what happens. And whatever the decision, we will make it so that it doesn't punish the clans and the teams that actually play. However, all of those who are just filling in numbers, filling in slots, so that they can get higher. I'm going to find you, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with you. So in the meantime, until the wrath of Queen Bee actually comes down upon you, I would recommend everybody playing at this game find themselves a real team, get training, look at your opponents, see what they're doing better than you, and try to figure out how to beat them. Because if you don't, I will figure out a way how to beat you, and that won't be as much fun. Now, moving on, because I can't always be mean. What else is happening? Okay, so moving on to the giant post from Zera, from MVP, who got an amen from Bumbaloo, who luckily was found and didn't lose any of his equipment thanks to the rapid intervention of some people during the last era. So there are lots of ideas. There are lots of ideas here. Now, first of all, we're going to like put things into like 2 slots here: community management, development. And these sort of on some levels, so I can get this information on how to develop the game, but the technical aspects of what is in the game and how that appears is not. I don't really get any decision-making power over this. I can suggest and I can put forward, but then that is filtered through the development community, and these are good guys. They're not sitting there thinking, how can we ruin Panzer for everybody? That is not our aim. These guys are actually working on how to make things better. Now, sometimes we can't see this immediately, but they are. So I have the list in front of me, and I've sort of tried to boil it down into things that I can sort of answer. Okay, so we can start with the weight. And I think it deserves capital letters. If I was writing about this right now, it would be the weight. The weight during matchmaking. So there are suggestions, and just to prove I have been reading your post, I will summarize some of them. So, forging and upgrading during the wait. There's also create a player village where we can go and check out what other guys have done with their stuff and their chairs. That is also a suggestion. I sort of like that one. I also like upgrading and forging, don't worry. Everybody likes that one. What else? The time. I don't think we're going to be displaying the time. I'm going to put it forward on Monday, but that's probably not going to happen. And that sort of links into the algorithm, because, I mean, what we're looking at here is the wait period as being quite a substantial period of time where you can actually accomplish things. Now, if our developers work with that mindset, like, hey guys, what can we do to distract all our players while they're sitting there waiting for a certain amount of time? Maybe it's just me, but I think that's the wrong way to work as a game developer. I think you should sit there and think, how can we make it so that the players don't wait so long to get into a match? And that is actually what I'm going to answer you. This is what development is doing. This is part of our plans. And this is what we are working on right now. Decreasing the wait. Now, this decreases by many ways, but mostly by bringing on more players. As you can see, with Steam, we got lots of new players. By the way, we're not going to be old Panzer accounts separately that were created before Steam, and Steam accounts will unfortunately not be merged. This is a simple question that comes down to corporate interest, and this is not. It's just Steam. Steam is a separate company to Panzer, and for these reasons, this isn't going to happen because, well, it wouldn't be good for us. Okay? That's pretty much the long and the short of it, and I don't actually think that it is possible. So, Steam, Panzer, merging old accounts, not going to happen. What else? So the weight. The weight is also linked to you. This brings us back to the algorithm. The algorithm of battle making, matchmaking, who's in what team, why, who, where, what. It's more than just a question of look, ooh, look, 2 level 5, and the 2 level 5 orcs, and then 2 level 5 elves, and it's a bit more complex than that. Now the guys have it worked out, and a whole thing linked to sort of like class points, experience, battles, maps. I mean, they take all the factors in there, and then they sort of do some maths there, and it brings us out with our final team constitution. What I will do, and this is part of many is that I have been sort of mulling over during my time in Europe, is that I'm going to bring you a detailed explanation of how it works. What are the elements we take into account, and how this brings you to the battle. This is something I'm going to work on an explanation through a video or something for you guys to understand. What else? So I've just got some summarized lists here, and so a surrender button. I saw this. This wasn't Jera, as I'm going to call you now, instead of Tejera. A surrender button was suggested by someone else because of the apparent mismatch in the lower levels. One of my duties at the moment, when I'm not answering emails and posting on the forum and posting here and there and answering all of that, is to create all chars on low level and then see what's actually happening. To estimate if in fact we are working on if there is an imbalance or not. And very honestly, if you put a surrender button in, I mean, technically, how would that work? Who would all 10 players have to surrender? I'm just brainstorming here right now on the live stream of what we would do with the surrender button. Okay, we need to talk about the disconnects. Yes, we need to talk about the disconnects. I want to talk about the disconnects. I don't know what to say about the disconnects. This is the reality of the situation. Why do disconnects appear during the tournament? Is it extra stress put on something by the tournament system? I don't know. We don't, and I don't have answers for you right now, the disconnect. But this does not mean we don't know about it. We know about it. We know about it every day. If there's one disconnect, I'm pretty sure that the whole community knows about the disconnect. It's one of those things. So we are working on it, and as usual, and I'm not saying this on a whim, and I'm not saying this because it's easy. I'm saying this because we need time. We always need time to figure out what's going on. It's just not something you pull out of a hat. This isn't simple addition here. So it's taking time, and I'm just hoping you'll give us that time to figure it out. What else? Trading system, I can suggest it, but I don't have any particular influence over that. More combat sounds and visuals. I think that's something definitely that could be worked on. So that's definitely going to be highlighted and pushed. We're getting a lot of things about developing a messaging system, about the in-game chat. Okay, so there's in-game chat, there's a messaging system, there's a clan messaging system. So we're going to, I think these are things that we're going to be putting forward now to work on. Skipping the tutorial, I can ask again. As I said, I've only been back for like 24 hours now. So that's definitely going to happen. Definitely going to happen in a sense. I'm going to ask. Let me see. For beginners, berserkers are a bit over the top. New players must find priorities on who to block. And we should. Berserkers are too strong, basically. So, I mean, I think this all boils down to is that Panzer is not a game you learn the easy way. I mean, there's no pinatas and cushions and hugs and like emoticons floating around, and Panzer just sort of throws you in there, doesn't it? And I think that's what's sort of pretty amazing about it. It's because it does separate those who want a sort of a nice and friendly, easy match from those who get into Panzer and realize, guys, this is a war. And if I don't figure out what I am doing with my char right now, that guy's going to kill me. And he's probably already killed me 5 times because that guy is a berserker. And I am an inquisitor. So I probably shouldn't be hitting the berserker. I should probably be invisible. And I think this is how we learn how to play Panzer. But what I will agree on is that if we knew, if we were maybe guided a bit more as new players, we would probably figure that out faster. Because there's nothing worse than landing in a team of people who haven't yet figured that out when the other team has sort of figured out what they're supposed to do. And I can reassure you that we are aware of that. We are working on it. What else are we working on? We're working on PvE mode. This is true. We're working in the CM in the offices with the other CMs and admin. We are working on tournaments. Now, as you probably know, we've got the go-ahead for the Great Race Tournament. So that's the 4 races of Panzer up against each other to determine who is the strongest. And this all comes back to the Berserker too. I mean, because for beginners it might be easier to believe that, I mean, who's going to beat the Orcs, because the Orcs are pretty damn strong. And so I think that this great race tournament, which, I mean, fair play to you guys. You've done pretty awesomely. You have organized it yourselves. I'm going to give you the tournament grid. I'm going to give you the tournament admin who will answer your emails. We're going to give you the tournament time frame. But I mean, this is your doing. I think this is going to be pretty amazing. I've also mentioned a potential all-star tournament, which would work into my grand plans as European CM of making Europe as great as Russia, at least strategically, tactically. So what can I say? There are we're working on tournaments, we're working on prizes. The developers are working on reducing your matchmaking time, 100%. They're working on disconnects. They're working on how to improve the experience for lower levels. We're working on what else? Okay, I've got a lot of things in front of me now and I can't remember. All I can tell you is that we're working, and that I'm sorry, and that I've been live streaming for about half an hour now, so I should probably stop. I've probably put my foot in it more than I should have. You're probably at work, so you should probably be doing something else. And Monday is a new day. Monday is the day I officially get back in the office and I've kicked this cold, being kicked out of Europe. been accepted back into Russia. And it hurts when I read, we miss the old guys at the European office now. I guess if I'd been a Panzer before then, I'd probably miss them too. But everything takes time. I'm still going to ask you for your time. I'm going to ask you for your patience. And in the meantime, I'm going to bust all those teams who are faking it to get higher up into the tournament. And I'm going to figure out how to do that on Monday. And for all those other amazing players, amazing community members, amazing teams, and amazing clans, and SWAT, and something Shu from PET clan, guys, you're awesome. I'm sorry. I'm going to try harder. Panzer's working on it. I'll be back with you next Friday. I'm not going to confirm the time right now, but I will be back with you next Friday. I will be answering your emails, and your crystals for the tournament will be distributed on Monday. So in the meantime, you can email me. I might answer, I might not. But have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday.